Yes, you are welcome to the class of the SLW646. If I may not be mistaken, that is the International Dispute Settlement Law. And can you tell me that what I have shown on the screen? Anyone? I repeat the question. Can you tell me what I have shown on the screen, which I shared with you? A building. If you know it, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say possum. Don't waste my time.
Person, sir.
Okay, I will give the hint. It is one of the organ of the UNO. I give the hint. It is one of the organ of the UNO. Speak.
Security Council.
Say again.
Security Council.
HAPANA capital bold center. No underline, no punctuation. I will give the second hint. It is the only one organ which is not in the New York.
Okay. The Office of the International, the Office of the International Court of Justice.
It is the International Court of Justice. It is the Hague, Netherlands. It is a building, International Court of Justice. Is it clear?
Yes, Prof.
I appreciate. I think I have shown also my daughter visited the International Court of Justice because she is staying in the Netherlands now, and I have shown the figures also. And I have also shown Tanzania number, that name is engraved on the stones, those who are the members of the ICJ. So now, without wasting the time, let me go to the point of our study. The peaceful settlement of the disputes, even the ICJ is one of the organ. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, now it is the Committee of Legal Advisors on Public International Law, that is CADI. The consideration of the question concerning the peaceful settlement of the disputes over many areas, the central element studying and following the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice, the CADI has also considered more specific issues such as the overlapping jurisdiction of the international tribunals and nomination of the international arbitrators and conciliation. Even CADI also one of the organ where it deals about the International Court of International Disputes. See, now I have shown you the many photos of the International Court of Justice. Could you see it? Could you see it?
It's
Say
not
yes.
true, Prof.
These are all the buildings of the International Court of Justice. Just for your sake that I made it here. And now let us go to the next point where Qadis is there. Even Qadis also plays an important role. CHADI, Qadis. CHADI, Qadi. I think it is right. Qadi. Khadi images. Oh no, this is a different thing is there. So my online class is going on now, and please speak me later. I will talk to you later. And now let us see the Khadis where you have put in here, where you kept it. Yeah, that is now let us see that why Khadis should be play an important role. Yes, now let us see. The central element is Qadi. The Qadi has also considered the more specific issues such as the overlapping jurisdiction of the international tribunals and nomination of the international arbitration and conciliation. These are also one of the body where the international disputes can be resolved. So now the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice. Here I have shown the small figure. This is the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice is concerned. So now the Qadi has discussed the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice (ICJ) under the agenda item on peaceful settlement of the disputes since 30th meeting Strasbourg 1920 September 2005. So it is Strasbourg which is there in the France, and regarding the peaceful settlement of the disputes, it will be discussed because Qadi also one of the organization and the European organization, and activities of the Qadi, we can say here, the Qadi's meeting and delegation pass on any relevant information. This may concern declaration by the states recognizing a compulsory jurisdiction of the ICJ, the acceptance of the peaceful settlement of the dispute clauses in their international agreements or cases involving them brought before the ICJ. So Qadis also made a tremendous work to resolve the international disputes either through the arbitration or through by the tribunals or through the ICJ. The recommendation on the acceptance of the jurisdiction of the ICJ is concerned. The Qadis also worked a draft recommendation of the Committee of Ministers to member states on the acceptance of the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice at its 33rd, 34th, 35th meeting, that is 22-23 March 2007 and 10-11 September 2007 and 6-7 March 2008 respectively. So Qadi's efforts would be there. What are the things should become under the ICJ jurisdiction in the resolving the peaceful settlement of the international disputes? The purpose of the recommendation, which was adopted on July 2008 at the 1031st meeting of the 1031st meeting of the ministers deputies, is to assist the states wishing to accept the compulsory jurisdiction of the ICJ or amend their declaration of the acceptance of the optional clause, as well as to promote the peaceful settlement of the disputes while underlying the importance of the mechanism of this kind to the international community. Why all these people are making it? They are making it to see that international committee, whatever the disputes should be there among them, it should be resolved in the peaceful manner without encroaching the rights of somebody else and without the harassing the people, without making the torture. Is it clear? Say yes.
Yes, it's clear.
Now let us see that basis of the ICJ's jurisdiction. So the jurisdiction of the court is governed by the principle of the state consent. The Qadis look at this from two angles. The first bullet is the compulsory jurisdiction of the court in pursuance of the declarations made by the states under the Article 36, Para 2 of the Statute of the Court means over the Rahman, do you want to speak something? Rahman, because I got the sound from you, that's why. Mute. Okay. There is a compulsory jurisdiction of the courts in pursuance of the declaration made by the states under Article 36. That means, what are the states under the UNO? They all come under the jurisdiction of the ICJ based on Article 36. And another point is, bullet is the jurisdiction of the court under other agreements including the dispute settlement clauses. Suppose the dispute settlement clauses are there. If there is a clause, yes, the jurisdiction will be given to the ICJ. But the ICJ will deal only the cases among the states. Am I right? ICJ deals the cases only among the individuals. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Wrong. It is among the states. It is among the states. State is a party. And in some places, to minorities concerned, International Court of Justice also deals the cases when one country dispute to the another country dispute in other matters also. Provided it's the extra jurisdiction, it may have it, and if the two parties agrees. Am I right? And the two parties from the different countries. Actually, the state matter will be dealt by the ICJ, not the individuals. If the individuals would be there, either they can file a case in the International Court of Justice, International Criminal Court, if the criminal matter is concerned, or they can opt the any arbitration, either European arbitration or American arbitration or any other arbitration tribunal they can approach and they resolve their disputes if they are the individuals. So now we are discussing about the peaceful settlement among the states. And the declaration recognizing the jurisdiction of the court as compulsory, Article 36, paragraph 2 of the statute of the court provides that the state parties to the present statute may at any time declare that they recognize as a compulsory ipso facto and without a special agreement in relation to any other state accepting the same obligation the jurisdiction of the court in all legal disputes concerning. Yes, this is the one aspect of it where the member state should be all the jurisdiction will be to the member state. The small a, the interpretation of the treaty, b, any question of the international law, c, the existence of any fact which, if established, would constitute a breach of an international obligation, d, the nature of extent of the preparation to be made for the breach of international obligations. So these are all the things which is represented by the state. So Article 36, paragraph 3 provides that such a declaration may be made unconditionally or on condition of a reciprocity on the part of the several or certain states or for a certain time. So these declarations constitute the direct expression of the state's consent and are valid for the future. So state consent means state among the state only. They are the most effective means of extending the jurisdiction of the court. If you know Tanzania and India is a member and hence the jurisdiction of the ICJ will be applicable to the ICJ to us if there is any dispute between or among the states. So as of October 2012, 68 states had accepted the compulsory jurisdiction of International Court of Justice through such a declaration. So some other state also they will accepted the jurisdiction of these International Court of Justice through their own declarations. In addition to that, by the virtue of the Article 36 also, the state becomes under the jurisdiction of the ICJ because all the states are members of the UNO. Those who are the members of the UNO, it is a binding factor for them. The legal dispute is concerned that will be assigned to the ICJ. So jurisdiction of the ICJ provides for its treaties and conventions in force. So how it can make it out means it depends upon the treaties and conventions are there, where the member states are there. At that instance, it will be act as a facilitator to see that justice should be done to them as per the treaties are concerned, as per the conventions are concerned. Parties, are you hearing me? Say yes.
Yes, Prof.
So, Raymond and Dorcas both are present. What about Lema? Sir, signals are weak. Sir, I could not, what I say, sir? Sir, you did not join me. Why I did not join me? I told you, Kimeo phone too, pa. Nini sema?
Umeme is matatizo.
There is a backup also there. No backup, we can use it. At least it's a matter of only 45 to 50 minutes. The backup will definitely come if it is a small battery if you purchased it. Okay, anyway, let us go to the point because we should not supposed to show our poverty in education. Don't eat one day. You can save the money. Moreover, if you are fasting, you will become more, your face become a blooming face, not gloomy face. Okay, let us go to the point again. I told you that under Article 36, paragraph 1 of the statute of the court, the jurisdiction of the ICJ may also stem from the other multilateral and bilateral agreement which include the clauses on the peaceful settlement of the disputes. So there is a provision would be there where the jurisdiction can comes to the ICJ by becoming the member of the UNO also comes, and by the other means of the paragraph 1, paragraph 2 of the Article 36, either bilateral or multilateral treaties are there, or conventions are there, or even protocols are there, declarations are there. So all these things will give the, which includes a clauses on the peaceful settlement of the disputes. So in this connection, the Council of the Europe adopted an European Convention for the peaceful settlement of disputes. So in the same lines, the European Convention, the Council of the Europe adopted the European Convention for the peaceful settlement of the dispute, that is CETS number 023, which entered into force on 30th April 1958. So this is also one of the body for the peaceful settlement of the disputes. So among the European conventions. So the high contracting party shall submit to the judgment of the International Court of Justice all international legal disputes which may arise between them, including in particular those concerning a, the interpretation of the treaty is concerned, or any question of the international law, c, the existence of any fact which establishes and would constitute a breach of the international obligation, d, the nature or the extent of the reparations to be made for the breach of the international obligations. So these are all the things where the ICJ will have the jurisdiction to entertain case among the countries peacefully for the legal disputes. As of October 2012, the convention had been ratified by the 14 countries and signed by 6. So the European Convention, they say they are ratified by the 14 and signed by the 6. So overlapping jurisdiction of the international tribunals, it is there. The Qadis began studying the issue of the proliferation of international tribunals and the resulting the risk of the conflicting jurisdictions, and its 31st meeting, Strasbourg, 23-24 March 2006. All these bodies, either the ICJ, European Council, or the Strasbourg Conventions, they try to resolve the disputes amicably among the states. Either they are bilaterally or multilaterally under the virtue of the 36 para 1, para 2 of the Charter, they can resolve their disputes. The issue was subsequently considered together with the compulsory jurisdiction of the ICJ and was discussed for the last time at the 36th meeting, London, 7-8 October 2008. When the UNO matter is there, where the members of the states are the UNO members, naturally ICJ will take the jurisdiction of it to resolve the issue. At the 34th meeting in Strasbourg, 10-11 September 2007, the members of the Qadis held an exchange view with the Professor Marty Kosekiniemi, a author of the International Law Commission study on fragmentation of the international law. The discussions highlighted the risk associated with the increasing number of the international courts of tribunals in a particular in terms of the divergence in the applications and in international and interpretation of the international norms. So there are only one ICJ is there. There are only one International Criminal Court is there. But there are many arbitration tribunals are there, many settlement tribunals are there. Like the example which I have given is the European Union. The European Court of Settlement, Peaceful Settlement, it is also one of it where they can resolve the disputes. At recommendation on the nomination of the international arbitrators and conciliators. So Qadi is also involved in the drafting the recommendations, committee for the ministers, members of the states, and the nomination of the international arbitration and conciliation, which was adopted in the 1031 meeting ministers deputies on the 1st July 2008. So Qadis made an effort for the tribunals, and Qadi therefore suggests the committee ministers that the recommendation be drawn upon the matters. So after the recommendation has been adopted by the committee of the ministers in the Qadi, monitored its implementation on several occasions, reiterated the importance of the keeping the periodically reviewing the list. So what I want to say is the Qadi is one of the body. They will also resolve the international disputes based on the treaty or based on the conventions. But overall, ICJ having the original jurisdiction to entertain to the members of the UNO. And there are many tribunals are there, international tribunal to resolve the amicable and peaceful settlement of the disputes, either in America or in Europe or in Africa. Then if you go further, let us see that what is that. Yeah, so this is the actually the Qadis and how it can work and give the jurisdiction to the ICJ, or by the conventions or by the treaties, they can also attribute to the international tribunals. So this is the study which the Qadis would like to make it out. What is Qadis? I already told you. What is that? Committee of Legal Advisors on Public International Law. CAHDI. So this is also body where it can work to resolve the peaceful means of settlement through the ICJ, through the arbitrary tribunals, through the conventions and treaties. They resolve the disputes. So now let us see that how dispute settlement would be there in the online. Say there is an online dispute system also there, or any dispute can be resolved, because any dispute either for the land or for the products or for the rate or for the breach of contract between the or among the states. So courtesy to the John Kulesja, it's the Faculty of Law Administration, University of Lodz, and I took it from him article this point. So what he covers now, this paper covers the existing international toolbox on peaceful settlement of the disputes and its application to online conflicts. And he has given only the online conflicts because of the digital world. And the same thing would be applicable if it is a conflict of a different nature also, because they follow the international instruments, they follow the international treaties when resolving such a disputes. So it reiterates the existing measures of the diplomatic and judicial measures to address the differing position of the states and non-state actors, as well as their applicability of the unique online environment. Let us consider what is the introduction of this international dispute settlement, especially in the matter of the online. Like international law has always had the preservation of the peace, and it is primary purpose. Of course, Shah book, it is 2011, page 1010, it is mentioned. The objective can be clearly identified across the history of the international relations as they evolved into the international law. Now you can say that whether the international law is a weak law or whether the international law is a strong law. Participants? Sir,
Yes, Prof.
repeat the question. If you know it, answer, you tell me. If you don't know it, you say pass on. If you did not hear me, say, sir, repeat the question.
person, sir.
We studied the international law is a weak law. The reason behind is several. But the present trend, a bit changing transformation is there to become a strong law. How? By the sanctions or by the interventions of the UN Assembly and Security Council. So it is transformation from the weak law to the strong law is going to come. The reason behind is that there is no executive machinery would be there to implement it. For the municipal law, there is an executive machinery is there, police. And the police will make the implementation of the things. But in the UN, yes, peacekeeping force is there, no doubt. And they are hailing from the different countries also. Yeah, when the matter reaches high, the UN send the peacekeeping force and see that the disturbance would be curbed down and normalcy would be brought and amicable settlement could be done. So it has also been reflected in the United Nations Charter, according to which all states are under a direct and explicit obligation to settle their dispute peacefully. It will be already given in the charter that it would be resolved without having any force on any state. These guiding principles of international law is aimed at preserving the peace and international security, alongside ensuring the international justice. Should these fall into the peril or peril from the unilateral armed attacks or multilateral aggressions, there would not be any aggression, there would not be any unilateral attacks, and the matter will be resolved by following the international instruments and approaching the body if the two parties agrees. So while all interstate disputes fall within the ambit of state, duty to resolve them amicably. So the United Nations Charter, Chapter 6, not 4, introduces additional safeguards in case of dispute directly endangering international peace and security, as per UNC Article 33. So he quoted the Article 33 totally here. So I am not going to the version of the article total. It is there on the screen, you could see it. Parties, anyone can unmute and read the quotation.
Open statement. Parties to any disputes, the continuance of which is likely to endanger the maintenance of international peace and security, shall first of all seek a solution by negotiation, inquiry, mediation, conciliation, arbitration, judicial settlement, resort to the regional agencies or arrangement or other peaceful means of their own choice. The Security Council shall, when it deems necessary, call upon the parties to settle their disputes by such a means.
Yes. There are many methods are there to resolving the disputes amicably and peacefully. What are the modes? Solution by the negotiation, inquiry, mediation, conciliation, arbitration, judicial settlement is the last resort. And the resort to the regional agencies like the tribunals or the arrangements can be made by peaceful means by other choice. If these choices are not there, the big choice is Security Council. If it deems necessary, call upon the parties to settle their dispute by such means. If the party will not listen it, UN make a sanctions also. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
What are the
Yes,
sanctions?
Prof.
What are the sanctions?
Economic embargoes.
Yes. Diplomatic relations are curtailed. No export, no import. No migrations.
Yes, Prof.
And many other sanctions. They will make it out to force them to listen to obey to the international instruments. So the United Nations Security Council may therefore call upon the states in such a dispute, requesting them to settle their differences peacefully. Alternatively, the Security Council may decide to investigate the dispute itself and recommend to the disputing states individual procedures and measures to be applied. They will send the mission to the particular state to investigate the matter and bring the matter to their presence to deal the dispute in peaceful manner. The principle of peaceful settlement of the interstate disputes is one of the safeguards for maintaining the international peace. It implements the customary peremptory norms prohibiting the use of force. This customary principle has been confirmed by, among others, the 1970 United Nations Declarations on Friendly Relations as well as the 1982 Manila Declaration, we studied the last class, on the peaceful settlement of the disputes. Where this Manila Convention held? Sir, in Manila. Where is Manila? Sir, in Tanzania.
Philippines.
It is in the Philippines. So the binding nature of the principle named above are derived from the customary law, and these two non-binding declarations have been confirmed by the International Court of Justice in the Nicaragua case. Please read the Nicaragua case. In my next class, I will ask you, you will be in a position to give me what is the facts of the case and what is the law is applied over there and what is the which party got the favor this decision. So please, it is an assignment to you when you come to the next class, which is on Thursday, and be ready with that one. So the ICJ stated the principle of the peaceful settlement of disputes complements the prohibition on the use of force. So it will prohibit the use of force, but it wants that the settlement could be done in the peaceful means. Therefore, the principle of peaceful settlement of the disputes can be derived from the universally binding customary law and has been confirmed directly in the United Nations Charter. In the United Nations Charter, there is a customary law provisions are put it over there. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Very good, very good. So the binding nature of the states obligated to the peaceful settle international dispute raises no concern. It is a practical implementation which remains ambiguous. But as technologies and international relations evolve, it is forever more challenging to identify the applicable scope of the prohibited use of force. With the notions like hybrid welfare and disinformation being added to the international law voluntarily, it is equally challenging to understand how to mitigate such a potential use of force in the cyberspace. Looking at the most recent advancement of the international geopolitics, Cyber attacks usually proceed or accompany state disputes on conflicts, more recently between the Ukraine and
Russia.
Russia. That is 2022. So regardless of the whether an interstate dispute amount to conflict or a violation of the international law, it is therefore has escaped legal analysis. See, one thing should be very much clear. A strong nation cannot exploit a poor nation. Are you following me?
Yes, Prof.
You know, all the poor nations will join and attack the strong nation. That is the reason cooperation is the strong. So when it comes to the cyber attacks are concerned, and has been consensus on two issues, states are sovereign in their attribution of these cyber attacks to another actor, and no state has thus, for attributed cyber attacks, they had considered to amount an armed attack to another state or non-state actors. Either it is a cyber attack or a physical attack, doesn't matter. Both are attack, both are aggressions. And interfering the sovereignty of a state. In brief, no cyber attacks has it amounted to an armed attack as per state interpretation and practices. So, strictly speaking, there is no armed attack. If it is a cyber attack, it's there. But when a person has made a cyber attack and which is not deemed to be an armed attack, in the beginning itself, cyber attack will be attack equivalent to the armed attack, then actually he will not dare enough to make such an attack also, even though it is a cyber. So don't give the chance to commit a crime. If the crime is a small amount or big amount, or the impact is more or impact is less. For instance, stealing the Alpine and stealing the plane. Are you following me? Stealing
Yes, Prof.
the Alpine. You know what is meant Alpine? You
Hijacking.
can use to the papers.
Okay.
And plane, 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 aircraft. But stealing is a stealing. If it is a plane or it is a Alpine. Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
If the amount of the punishment is the same, either you steal a plane or you steal a Alpine, then nobody have dare enough to steal in the dream also the Alpine. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, Prof.
Like an example I have given you. What example? Rape, kata, imbili. Did you get my point?
Can you repeat, sir?
Khasi. Najwa khasi.
Yes, Prof.
Yes. So a man will not have a dare enough in the dream also to commit the rape. Either you steal the Alpine or you steal the plane. If the punishment is severe, even people will not steal even the small Alpine also. So therefore, the rich dogmatic narrative around the legal classification of the cyber attacks and the armed attacks, there should threshold to be crossed for armed self-defense to be legitimized remain speculatory. Either it is a armed attack or it is a cyber attack. Attack is attack. Am I right?
Ibariki Afrika.